What's fascinating about today, and it's really inspiring, is we've got the biggest ever young person's hack taking place anywhere in this country, more than 250 people. The optimism is really interesting from the young people, that's really good. But also ideas around mental health are coming forward from young people, concerns around racism and sexism, concerns around youth unemployment, but also ideas how we resolve issues young people face from violent crime, to giving them opportunities for the future.
And how effectively are you tackling their concerns?
Well, what's really important is that young people are involved in decisions that affect their present and their future. Too often, things are done to young people without involving them. We've set up our city's first young persons action group, and they advise me on a variety of issues, from policies around how we address youth violence to policies around how we address the issues of mental ill health. And what we're saying to young people is, look, if you've got any ideas, you've got views, you've got solutions, come forward with them. If they're good ones, we'll action them.
What concerns are you hearing at the moment about the ULEZ expansion plans?
Well, I appreciate there's a vocal minority making a lot of noise about concerns that some people have. What I would say is we've got the country's biggest ever scrappage scheme that I've unveiled, more than £171 million. I announced £100 million 2 weeks ago. And that will be supporting those low-income families, those sole traders, those small businesses, those charities who may have a polluting vehicle but need help to transition across. I'd make this point, is that there's lots of misinformation out there. Because of our policies, now more than 94% of households in London who have a car have compliant cars. Those in outer London, it's more than 85%. So check the TfL website to see if your vehicle is compliant. It's more likely than not to be compliant. But over the course of the next few months, there's help for you to make the transition to a cleaner vehicle, or to decide if you want to have more use of public transport, walking or cycling.
There's also been a lot of concern about the plan hitting people's pockets. What do you make of that?
But I recognise concerns families have and businesses have during a cost of living crisis. That's why, without a penny of support from the government, we've released more than £171 million to support people with a scrappage scheme. £61 million has already been used up. £110 million I announced a couple of weeks ago. That money is there to support those people who are struggling, who want to make the transition. But it's the poorest Londoners, least likely to own a car, who suffer the worst consequences from ill health. Almost half of households in London don't own a car. It's an issue of social justice, but also it's an issue of racial justice, because a disproportionate number of black, Asian, minority ethnic Londoners who don't own a car suffer the consequences. And that's why this policy is designed to improve the air in London, but also address the additional challenges of climate change and congestion.
And what do you make of Labour MPs recently questioning the plan?
But evidence that this policy is not about party politics is the fact that it's got some people opposing it from the Labour Party as well as the Conservative Party. It's really important to recognise that actually the evidence is unequivocal. Nobody can argue with the research from the Imperial College. Nobody can argue with the children that I've visited at Great Ormond Street suffering ill health because of the bad air, or at the Children's Evelina Hospital. You speak to the Chief Medical Officer, he will talk about the consequences and concerns of air quality. There were those people who didn't want to take action to ban smoking in public spaces. There were those people who didn't want to take action in the 1950s to take action to prevent the Great Smog. I'm going to be on the right side of history taking action rather than the wrong side. The costs of inaction far outweigh the costs of action.
But if you knew most people were opposed, would you still continue with the plan?
I'm quite clear. This plan addresses the triple challenges of air quality, climate change and congestion. Delay for me means more people suffering the consequences of ill health. What is a price for a child's life? What is a price for around 4,000 premature deaths a year? What is a price for a mum doing CPR on a child because of her not being able to breathe because of a consequence of air quality, and having to bring that child back to life? I think delay leads to more ill health, more suffering.
And Boris Johnson last night accused you of trying to rake in money from motorists. What do you make of his comments?
Well, look, Johnson was the mayor who took no action 10 years ago when he was given a report that showed that there were more than 400 schools in areas where the air was unlawful. Some of the poorest parts of the country hid that report away. He was also the mayor who knew about 9-year-old Ella 10 years ago losing her life and took no action. He's also the mayor that when he became the Prime Minister, he penalised London when it came to the deal the DfT did with TfL. So we'll take no lectures from a Prime Minister, a former Prime Minister and a former mayor who ignored the science and ignored the facts.